allowed me to go to spring, June even. So uh, I was not taken into the army in the winter.
Right.
And the first thing you get in the army is basic training, and you live in tents on the outside usually. So I avoided it. I had it, but I had it in springtime,
Right, right.
which is a nice time.
Now, was that the norm to do? To let you finish high school?
Which one?
Was it normal to let most people drafted finish high school? Or was it
Yeah, I think
special?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was seemed to be automatic if you requested it. And so then, all right, I finished basic training. That means you're a soldier. You're ready.
Yeah.
It was, I had to crawl on the dirt
Yeah.
while the machine gun bullets are over my head. If I would have looked up,
Oh my goodness.
and then the worst one is about a four-story wooden edifice. You had to go up on just wooden,
Yeah.
it looked
I've
like
seen that.
ladders.
Yeah, I've seen that.
4 stories up. You got top that like the New York, Empire State Building. Then to go down, it was on a rope.
Oh. Wow, like an obstacle course, kind of.
And some guys, I didn't see them, but they had troubles.
They couldn't do it.
I luckily, as scared as I was, got down. That was a hard one, the worrisome one. Uh, so they give put you all that training, That's kind of marine stuff. Not
Yeah.
exactly very worse, but it's close. So
And now you were picked to be a dental assistant because you were having some anxiety or something?
wait, you're getting way ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even I have to remember this.
Hmm.
So uh, then I could have been anything. I could have been in the infantry with a gun. And okay, can I tell you stories about that? You lose all your personality. They own you, and if they tell you when to go to sleep, when to get up, when to eat, when to do anything. I was lucky. I got into medics.
Right.
I think because either my glasses or I didn't believe it or not, I didn't have to go in the army in Chicago where I lived. You have to go to a medical test.
Right.
So
Okay.
here I am, still a high school kid, and the doctor was very just a civilian doctor. He wasn't a medical army doctor. He I got a check off because of glasses, but I always am a nervous person,
Hmm.
so I just was acting uh, normal. But this was a new thrill.
Right.
So he caught that. He said, because of two demerits, one for nervousness, uh, and I think he was right on that. I didn't have to go in the army, and I begged him, I want to go in the army.
Really?
I don't know why, patriotic or something, or
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. Well, you're still
Probably stupid.
That I'll take that.
well, when you're a kid and you're seeing that's what is expected of you, I guess you wanted to be included or something.
Exactly, you follow the norm.
Yeah.
So I could have been out of it, but I thank God because of the GI Bill and everything else. I went in, and then okay, all that happened. Then they selected me into the medics,
Right.
and which could have been just a hospital nurse. I could have been anything. So I got connected with an evacuation hospital, which is about 200 or 300 people, doctors, uh, nurses even, and the cooks and
Mhm.
bugler and all that stuff. About 300 unit. And so this is a half a year before the war ended.
Mhm.
So we trained in Texas.
Oh.
A little before that, believe it or not, uh, the basic training I took was in northern Illinois.
Mhm.
So then they actually sent me on a train to California.
Wow.
And for about 2 weeks, I was there, and we hiked, and it was real hot. One hike I just remember was so hot that to take a break in the middle of it, and there was a pond, a little lake. I just jumped in,
Wow.
clothes and all, and other guys, I let them. They followed me. We cooled off.
So you were a leader at one point, huh?
I was a crazy soldier. I was the last guy that should have been a soldier, a real fuck up.
I don't know about that, Dad.
Pour that man another drink. Hey, try this stuff now. Get a little chill on it.
So then they, believe it or not,
Oh, so much better.
Good.
another train ride. These are interesting in the country. Sometimes they, well, if it's a wounded soldier, they block the windows. You see a railroad car, but they're taking the guys without arms and all
Yeah.
that. But we were just a train ride, but nothing comfortable. It's
I can imagine. Yeah.
on wood. A lot of card games and
Yeah.
dice and all that.
Well, when they sent you over to Europe, you went on a troop carrier, troop ship? When they sent you to Europe, you went on a troop ship?
Yep. Oh, that's another. Okay, we're
basically-
getting there. We're
Okay.
getting there.
No.
So they took us back to Texas, and then I got in this VAC hospital, which was just new,
Oh.
So we're not established. We're being made in 127, so we trained in Texas. Again, I can tell you some weird stories about me being a jerk.
Really?
We want to hear them.
I didn't like inspections.
Right.
We had a foot locker,
Uh-huh.
a hard thing, and you had your underwear, you had your clothing, you had everything, toothbrush and everything.
Mhm.
Everything should have been in place, and a lot of these guys were good at that. I was miserable. So once they took my unit, the officers, they had to do this,
Right.
to say we've done it. So they took us on a field in real close to where our barrack was in Texas, and there was going to be an inspection, like a Foot Locker,
Right.
in the field even. I would have flunked that. So you know what I did?
What did you do? You paid somebody to do it for you?
No, it would be a good idea. The the units, the wood buildings we lived in were about a foot off the ground. So I crawled under that building on the ground and didn't do the inspection. But guess what?
Uh-oh.
I had a visitor, an armadillo.
Oh no. That's so funny.
He didn't bother me, and I didn't bother him. But the thing is,
But
I
they
was already given to the two dentists. So I was now in the hospital as a dental assistant. And those two dentists were in the inspection.
Oh.
Never said a word, but
Ah.
they knew.
So they kind of covered for you.
Were
Because they must have known you were missing.
I was no, I just wasn't there.
Oh.
I just wasn't there.
I
No
wouldn't
one
think that would be-
questioned. where I
Wow.
was.
Nobody questioned it.
But they if they didn't like me, they could have questioned that I would be in a lot of trouble.
Wow.
So you have those crazy. Another crazy thing. I got to be, of our unit, they needed one, a bugler.
Ah.
Now, here's the great thing. I'm in Texas. During the morning, all the people were being instructed, you know, what you do as an orderly nurse,
Yeah.
male nurse, and how you assist the male guys had to learn all about mail and all that. So what does a bugler do? Nobody. I don't have an office there. I was one. How lucky can you get?
Yeah.
So I would take. I had a big volume about Plato.
Really?
I carried it. I carried my violin and that volume even to Europe. I didn't mind, you know, the extra weight. What a thick book. And so in the mornings in Texas, I would walk up a mountain or a big hill, practice my bugling for a few minutes,
Yeah.
read the book, relax, look at the lovely weather Texas has, and after the morning, I would walk back for lunch.
Oh, you had it made. Yeah.
How about that, huh?
Lucky. Oh, I need more practice. I better go, you know.
So, yeah. So I found out the question, the answer. Who wakes the cock up?
The bugler?
You tell that, ask anyone, they wouldn't know it unless you heard my story. You know?
Or a rooster.
The
I don't know.
bugler got the job of working the cook up.
Wow.
And way before Reveille, you know,
Yeah.
Wake up, you guys.
Wow, that's really interesting. I like that story. That's some stuff I would love to read, Dad. I would love to read more stories from your life.
That's a story I don't want anyone to read about.
Why not? It's interesting. It really is. Or
you
even
know what a schnook is? It's
not a schnook.
would do that.
Everybody has their important piece of the puzzle.
Yeah. But Mike asked, we got to be a good trade hospital.
Right.
So Michael, they took us to Boston, and
No, they took you to Boston.
Yeah, just
Boston.
Boston. Yeah.
Park the car in Harvard Yard.
So finally, a boat came, and they were going to Europe. But you know that was 9 months before the war ended, so it was still a hot war.
Right.
And lo and behold, while the boat ride, I could tell you stories there too. But during we got oh, that's great stuff.
That's for Mr. Joe. That's his favorite drink that he turned Mike on.
No, that's not.
Oh,
Jack
no, it's
Daniels.
not.
That's not Jack
That'll
Daniels.
be good for you. That'll put you in the right spirit. So we had an error alert. We were they don't, you know, when I had a bunk in the boat, it wasn't on above ground or deck. It was down, down, down. And a bunch of us, every level had bunks, you know.
Yeah.
They were just trying to get a lot of men from America to
Basically,
Europe.
they would take cruise ships.
Yeah.
And gut them
yeah.
and just put in as many bunks as they can. Nobody had a cabin except if you were an officer. So basically, a ship that held maybe 1,500
right.
paying customers held 5,000 or 6,000 soldiers.
And then you're claustrophobic, right?
We had quite a few.
Then you got to worry about torpedoes.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah. There were about 3 or 4 or 5 troop ships with a lot of men, and we had destroyers, you know, protecting us from submarines, you know. Ooh, torpedoes. Germans were good at that stuff.
Germans were very good at that.
So there was one day we had an air concern.
Right.
German planes, because we were closer to Europe then, they could come and go.
They had the range to come out
and they
see
took
what was going
all
on.
us men from down there, bring them up, you know.
Put on
So
life
we're
jackets.
all on the deck.
Ooh, scary.
And you know what? I panicked.
Yeah, I would too.
You're supposed to stand there and see what happens.
Stand there and take it.
Yeah, and meanwhile, the plane might come in and
I
start machine gunning you.
I was quite near where we came up out of, so I ran to get the protection of that. And all I know is that someone later on said to me, you know, there were a lot of people that ran inside. Some big guy was first, you know. I'm the big guy because I was 6'2" then.
Right.
No weight, but
Right.
at least I went up to
Yeah.
and so I started a panic, I suppose.
And people followed?
Luckily, no one shot at us, and nothing happened. So that we got to Rouen. Well, we got to France. Rouen is a little in, and then Rouen is where we lived in tents.
Okay.
Again, you're so new. You should write a book about this.
I just told him that when you were outside.
Oh.
You write it, I'll tell you
For
about
the
it.
family.
Make you famous.
You should write a little biography.
For
about
us, for
yourself.
the grandkids, for everyone.
I'll tell you, any guy that was in the service, same situations, I
Yeah.
bet. Or
Yeah.
they could say the same story, but not as stupid as mine.
Don't put yourself down, Dad. I would have panicked.
Anybody, any normal person would have panicked.
You know, at one time he was working on a car and he got a little engine fire or something. I ran out of the garage and left him.
Oh, yeah.
That's this compared to what you went through.
Oh, God.
No, the thing is, I couldn't understand how she got squeezed past me to get out of the garage because I'm like, I turn around, I'm like, I grab a fire extinguisher, I put the fire out, and I turn around, she's out across the street. I'm like, how the hell did you get all the way out there when I didn't even see you run out the door? You just. It's that Kelch twin, I guess.
Oops. No, but that's when we were dating. Oops, terrible.
A car fire can be terrible.
Yeah, in a garage.
Yeah.
Everything is oil.
But that's when I was younger. I don't even think we were married yet.
We were dating.
Yeah.
So I'm telling you all the funny incidents. You know, there's a lot of standard stuff where you just think it. The thing is, again, we're a new unit, so they didn't use us right away. So we're in a holding pattern in France in winter now, or felt like winter. And we were living in big tents, but something, okay, it rained a lot. It must have been spring. It was spring. Mud. We all had to go to a big tent for our breakfast, you know, and lunch or dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And so many men walking on the earth, you know, is mud.
Yeah.
So you just know you're going to get 2 inches of mud on your shoes.
You got that in the tent.
While you then get, you know, your utensils filled and you eat it somewhere again on the outside.
Ugh.
But one nice thing, at night, for entertainment, they would show us the newest movies, and they got them. And the one that impressed me, and I'll never forget it, it was such a great effect. I still love to watch it. Laura.
Laura, I don't know that.
You don't know the movie
you?
Laura?
No.
Okay, Gene Tierney.
Okay, I'll have to watch it.
And the man with a real wide, handsome man with a wide, Andrews or something like that. And then it had that old Englishman that is a sour comic, Laura. Wonderful, wonderful movie. Oh, I'm surprised you don't know it.
No.
It's shown over and over in the TV.
Have you seen it again?
Dana Andrews was the man. And
I
the
heard both those
girl
names.
is Jean Tierney, a real beauty. I think she had an unhappy life, though.
They usually did.
And the man is a real sourpuss, but you laugh at him, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
he's so out of it, and he's been in a few movies. So that was
Hmm.
so nice to have a movie. Of course, we were all sitting on the outside
Yeah.
on benches, but the army got the movies first. You know,
That's
we
good. It
saw
gave you some normalcy,
same time Manhattan. So
Like, it gave you some time to be a normal person and unwind.
to make a long story short, then we got into these war zones. We did have patients, and then I ended up. You might have heard of the Dachau concentration camp.
Wow.
We our hospital was after the army and the tanks took it. That's near southern Germany, near Munich.
Okay.
They We were 3 days after it was taken. We came in, and all these starving uh, subjects.
Jews.
We didn't let them run out. We kept them. Imagine the kind thing to do is keep them enclosed because they had disease.
Yeah.
You couldn't give them a normal meal. They hadn't eaten in 2 years. So I think they gave them a little soup at first.
Wow.
And they put up tents for the washing. And they cleaned them up and got rid of all that black and white clothing that the disgusting stuff they were wearing. But they were so emaciated, and really, if you got to know them, they were so appreciative. The Americans,
Yeah.
we were
Wow.
saints,
Right.
and so we kept them there. And then eventually it got a little looser.
Hmm.
And in our dental work, where we did dental work for the American troops, they came to us. And we did dental work, believe it or not, even for the inmates, where somehow they got inspected. They were so happy. I had, you do this in the army, you steal, so if you got any opportunity to steal something good in Germany, you steal it.
Yeah.
So I got a nice camera, the same one I use. I think it's that one. I don't know.
Is it upstairs, maybe?
And one of the inmates that associated with me, or we did work on him. We were only two dentists and two assistants. I was the lower of them. He was so appreciated. He says, "Give me your camera, and I'll do something for you." And I gave it to him. A couple days later, a beautiful leather container. You put it over your shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
He somehow got leather, sold it.
Wow.
Perfectly fit, and I had it. I don't know, lost it in the years.
Oh, too bad.
So he was appreciative of it, and nice guy. So
Maybe he was doing that for work. They were making him make things, and
That could be.
he kind of
A lot of the prisoners did work for the army.
he could have been doing that for a job, and he saved you something without them watching.
he
Yeah.
had
When
the
the
talent.
when the Germans
Yeah.
ran out of the concentration camp, and they did,
Oh,
because the
yeah.
Americans were coming,
Yeah.
they were basically left to their own devices.
Right.
But this one, now you got to watch yourself. So there were the Germans in that area that we took in Dachau had wooden buildings. They were real pretty,
Mm-hmm.
and we lived in them and did our dental work there. But we had to go to the main buildings, the ones with the brick swastikas on them. The
Eagles.
Anyway, with the swastika in the middle, real old-fashioned masonry building.
Right.
To walk there, you saw something over here. Piles of bodies, pyramids of bodies, and there's a smell involved.
Oh, I can imagine.
It's a sickening sweetness.
Ugh.
You know, when I smelled that again, Rick and I were playing golf here 3 days after 9/11.
Oh,
That smell came to Long Island, 40 miles away, and I smelled it. I
oh
said,
my
I know what that
goodness.
is. That's dead bodies decomposing.
Wow. Wow, you missed it.
I heard it.
9/11.
I heard it.
So
Okay, didn't know you heard it.
that's about it.
That's so sad.
That's about
you'd
it.
watch
That I'll tell you about.
you'd watch a video, like a movie of it, and there would be huge piles of eyeglasses, piles 20 feet high of eyeglasses, piles of shoes.
From 9/11 or
No,
from
from World
Okay.
War II in the concentration camp.
Yeah.
They would come in and show you video of pile of eyeglasses, 10 feet high. Can you imagine how many eyeglasses, how many people
that
that
shows
was?
you how many people it is
Right.
because eyeglasses are this small and
And nobody
Stacked.
around knew anything about it, of course.
Well, here's to you, Michael.
sickening. Well, thank you for that, Dad. That was very, very interesting.